This is Daniel Farke's press and reaction ahead of the game against Man City this Saturday. But I'm going to say off the bat, people, I'm so bored. I'm so tired of hearing this man talk. 40 minutes of delusion, contradictory quotes, and repeated quotes. And it's just, you can tell this man is under pressure. He's trying to hide it very well, as he should, but you can tell this man is feeling it. And he knows his job is under threat. There was a lot of stuff today where you just went, what? What are you talking about? We'll go through some of the highlights today. The live preview is tomorrow, so join me for that. That's when we'll go through team selection, preferences, and of course, score predictions. I'm sure that will be fun. Thank you to Phil and Jason for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys, and big up to all members of the channel for the continued support. Thank you for that. So yeah, let's get into it, people, because we got team news. We knew Anton Stat was going to be missing, which is a big blow. But added to that is Sean Longstaff, who misses the game with a calf injury. He'll be out from 4 to 6 weeks. Now, again, I don't wish injury on anybody. I need to make that clear. But what I am glad is that Sean Longstaff is unavailable for selection. This guy, over the last few games, losing the ball consistently. Not only that, the moans per minute to the ref. Honestly, if you guys can remember one, please tell me in the comments. But I do not remember a player that moans as much to the ref as Sean Longstaff. I can't remember him. This guy is constantly whinging to the ref for the most trivial things. And I'm just glad that he's going to be out of the lineup. Obviously, it's not ideal with missing Stack as well this weekend, but there's ways of going around it, and we'll get into that tomorrow. But Sean Longstaff is out for the longer term, 4 to 6 weeks. And here we go. The goal is to finish 17th. Did not expect an easy ride, had to work with limited resources, challenges in the summer window, everyone outside expecting an easy cruise to ninth or 10th. I did not expect this. Ups and downs happen to every team over 38 games. I need to know who these people were that were saying we're going to finish ninth or 10th. Listen, I've got a couple of you in my community that have said it, and I know that's just because, Leeds United hopium. I completely get that from a fan perspective. You want to hope for the best, but no one with a right mind was saying that this team was going to finish 9th or 10th. I don't know where he keeps on getting this from or why he keeps on saying this kind of thing. It's just untrue from what I see anyway. I could be wrong. I don't remember or recalling seeing anyone saying that Leeds United is going to finish 9th or 10th. And the challenges in the summer window, this was brought up quite a lot in terms of PSR issues. These things can be helped if you don't spend money on players that aren't worth it. Talking Sean Longstaff, you literally could have got anyone from the championship in midfield, any vanilla midfielder that just runs around, does nothing at all with the ball. Yes, he's delivered a few good set pieces, sure, but overall, he's a very basic footballer. You could have got that for 5 million in the championship. Instead, Newcastle reject 12 million. We bid against ourselves for 15. Those kind of things don't help. Not selling Elan Melier doesn't help. Not selling Joel Peru doesn't help. There's so many things that this club could have done to help themselves in terms of PSR. That's why I don't want to hear it. Selling players that have got no business being here would have helped, but you wanted to keep them along with the recruitment people. So again, don't want to hear challenges of PSR when there was plenty of outlets and ways to ease that PSR restriction. But there you go. That's just one thing. I was aware what happens with a passionate club, again, replacing emotional with passionate. Many doubts during last season. We want to be the first side in 25 years to establish this club in the Premier League. When I judge our games, we are in the top 2 with City for physical output, good fitness level and mentality. And again, there was all these kind of ancillary stats that just don't matter because the main stat is what's the score at the end of the game. And to say in terms of, physicality and running, guys, does that not remind you of us being in the Premier League last time and it didn't work? Has everyone forgot that? We was doing all this in the first year with Bielsa in the empty stadiums, and it was cute. But then when teams find you out, and as we saw, even as a small game size, where Frank Lampard was manager of Chelsea, and they had never ran that much in their lives, and it showed after because their results suffered. They never ran that much, but because they overran us and had more quality, they beat us that day. The whole running around thing, it can work, but you've got to have technically gifted players. And this was something I repeated over and over again in the Bielsa era. It doesn't matter if you've got bloody Tyler Roberts running around. He's got no quality once he gets the ball. And we're literally in that same era again. And it's insane that we've done it again. But hey, let me move on. Again, we're talking about things we've spoken about so many times. That's why I'm just so bored of it. We have to add effectiveness and clinical edge. What I work on with the players, improve this over the season. Use January to add a bit more, improve little details, using chances, clinical defending. Fully convinced this group can improve. And there was a couple of questions where he was asked about the vision with Robbie Evans and Adam Underwood. Is it aligned with him? And he just simply said yes. Didn't elaborate any more on that. And also, do they all have the same vision for players? He also said yes. And that worries me too, because they shouldn't have the same vision for players if this is what we've been bringing in. They should have different ideas in terms of the players that should be brought in. Because if they're all thinking that this is good enough, they've lost it. And Parag needs to go with what he said. If if the team isn't doing what they should be doing, I'll get in people that should be doing the job properly. That's not what I'm hearing here. But in terms of him talking about January, and that was mentioned a couple of times, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't want him involved in any January moves that we've got. If we go by the way that he's gone previously, and the way that he was talking about the left hand side, we could be seeing one player of any kind of flair, Noah Okafor, go out on loan, and we bring in another defensive winger. And I wish I was joking, but I really could see that happening with the way that he's been talking about the left hand side, and we'll get into that in a bit as well. Not focused on myself. I like the outside noise is on me and not on the players. They need a leader, not thinking about themselves. I think about how we can stay in this league. Again, contradictory stuff where he's talking about it's all focused on himself, because then he'll try and put it on the fans for being emotional, passionate, and to say that he's not putting, it's not on the players. It is on the players, but I don't put it on the players as in they're just so rubbish that they can't do the job. I put it on the recruitment team for getting this whole bunch of players and not surrounding them with actual quality players that can help these runners out. That's where I put the blame. Um, not that we dwell under, oh, this was about Brendan Aronson and if he will be dropped to save him from his mental health following Daniel Farke's comments about him. Not that we dwell under pressure. It's more Aronson, deals with this in a proper way. He's had stick since the first day back here from returning on loan. Work together, win together, lose together, never finger point. Does not mean he plays every game. Doubt he will play 90 minutes next week, which obviously means he's starting. And by default, he may have to start this weekend due to the options that we have available, but we'll get into that. But yeah, this defense of Brendan Aronson every week as well. I mean, there's no more I can add to it. I've said it in previous videos. There's no point me going on. But he's not seeing. He's talking about all the hard work, but then he doesn't mention, like in the Villa game alone, the 4-5 times that when he actually did get the ball, he just lost it. But he doesn't mention any of that stuff. He just talks about the hard work, which it doesn't get you anywhere, people. Every team works hard. Every team in the Premier League works hard, but they also have the quality to go with it, so that their front attribute isn't we work hard. That's not a skill set. That's just a given. Ask if it was enjoyable to go up against Pep Guardiola, and he said it's not enjoyable at the moment because there's lots of stick. Did not deserve to lose it to Villa. Performance really good in many aspects, but if you don't win, it's hard to win the momentum back. We are competitors, and it's nice to have challenges like this versus Pep. That was brought up a few times as well, people, about the result against Villa, and then a few other results that we've lost, and he feels that we didn't deserve to lose. And I'm just thinking, what have you been watching? We was nowhere near it against Brighton, nowhere near it. Forest were better than us as well overall. Villa got stronger and stronger as the game went on, especially from the second half when they made changes and tactical tweaks. What is he think? I know he's got to defend himself, and in a way, he's defending his own tactical nous here, or lack of it, we should say. He was even talking about how he doesn't want to point out every time he changes formation, because then that's like patting myself on the back saying I'm a genius. Guys, I don't know why like I say, it was a painful one today. Even I'm lost for words. Even I'm lost for words. And he also followed up with this as well. Leverkusen had more than 40% possession. If we go long ball, lose ball, waste time, 20% possession, we will crack under pressure. We need periods to keep the ball. We will go long when it suits us. Need a striker to hold the ball up. If direct is the only plan, we will not stay up. And again, I get what he's saying in a sense, but Leverkusen are a better side than Leeds United. So, you're not comparing comparables there. But he was talking about the whole plan of staying up and everything else with newly promoted sides, which he mentioned again. but he always conveniently forgets that Sunderland are here as well. And they, even after defeat against Fulham, are in 7th place with 19 points. But he conveniently keeps on leaving out Sunderland, which is baffling to me because they are literally the example of how you do it in terms of a transfer strategy and moving forward, and the way that they've been playing, the way they've come back in games where they haven't deserved to lose. Some of the games they haven't. 10 men against Villa, they get a point. Going 1-0 down against Chelsea, beating them. Yeah. But yeah, this is what we're at. He was also asked about the goals on the left hand side, and he's on about not finger pointing, but he did kind of finger point in the post match last week. By the way, this week has gone really quick. This Man City game is coming up really fast, which I don't like. But yeah, he was talking about the goals down the left hand side, and just saying that he's worked on things, but obviously he's not going to know if it works because we haven't played a game yet, which is fair. But what I will say is that Gabriel Goodmanson was asked about this on the BBC Sport, and his answer was not great. There was no, again, there was no accountability on Gabriel's side. He was just talking about quality of players and everything else like that. There was no admission that, yeah, I could do more. Maybe I don't slip over as much. Maybe I don't give the winger so much time and room to put a pass into the box in the first place. Maybe I could be tighter. There was none of that from Gabriel, and that's concerning within itself. So we'll see what Gabriel's made of this week. It's going to be a tough test, but it shouldn't be that tough, because if Savinho is on that side, Savinho has not been great for Man City. He's a good player, but he has not been great. If Savinho is torching him in this game, then then we've got a conversation to be had. But yeah, the whole left-hand side thing, I've seen people as well talk about Okafor not getting back. Again, we're in this era of everyone's got to get back and no one should score goals now. But Okafor is the only outlet that we've got when that ball eventually breaks up. If he then comes back all the time, who's going to get the relief when the ball goes up the pitch? This is the thing. You can't be in two places at once. And it's not just Okafor not getting back. Gabriel Goodmanson individually he's been targeted, people, for a reason. That's why there's been so many goals on that side. He has been targeted on that side for a reason. He was also talking about injured players, and he mentioned Bonal, and I don't know why, because this is the same Bonal that's only played one game this season. Bonal is also suffering from some kind of MCL strain. He's going to be injured, but I don't know why he brought him up, because he's literally not played any league minutes. Right? So again, we're talking about PSR, we're talking about squad building. There was so much stuff in the summer where we could have targeted different areas. And again, you have to buy backup centre backs, full backs. I'm not saying you don't get those, but if you know that you've got a tight budget and there's certain players that you don't want to release, you should have targeted other areas. Simple as that. The whole thing has been a farce. And it isn't just Daniel Farke that needs to go. I'm going to keep on saying it. It's the whole recruitment team that needs going. They need to be gone, and they need to get experienced heads in that can handle the weight of what Leeds United can bring in, because we did spend money. We spent over 100 million. We're paying Dominic Calvert-Lewin over 100,000 a week. Just think of where that could have gone on a quality player that can actually help you week in, week out. Imagine that, instead of having to settle for mediocre and overpaying that, and then therefore being stuck with him probably for the duration of his contract, as we always seem to do with those kind of players. But yeah, people, there was a lot of stuff in this one that go and listen for yourself. But this man is under pressure and he's feeling it. He's feeling it big time. Let me just see. I don't think there was anything else. Yeah, there was a little bit more. Let me just get this one here. If you judge objective data, we were in 6 games, better side, but without points. Hey, awesome. More individual quality means moment like Rodgers on Sunday or a perfect tackle. I said what we needed in the summer to be competitive. I will not complain once about the window, but again, in this very press conference, he kind of did. This is what I mean. There was contradictory stuff. There was repeated stuff. There was deluded stuff in this one, people. It was a heavy mix of all. But look, we'll be back tomorrow with the match preview. And listen, we'll come up with a side that we think can keep the score down, I would say. But yeah, people, this is it for me on this presser reaction. Like the video before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.